everybody, it is Maquany, and welcome back to the bonus episode of The Devil in Me. So this is going to be the bonus episode. What we're going to do is we're going to go through two videos, as you can see over here on the top right. We got the story explained, and then we got all endings. Now, these are both very, very long videos. I probably won't include both videos in here, and because they are other people's videos, they're not mine, if you can't tell. So I probably won't include both of them, so that way this isn't a 2-hour video, but we'll probably just cut in and out, see. I'm sure we'll include just about all the story explained one, but the all endings, from what I've heard, are mostly the same. So like it's just different characters that survive, same ending, but there is like a secret ending, and I think that there might be a worst ending, I think it says over here or something like that. So we're just gonna kind of see where we go from there. But let's go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna start off with the story explained, and then we're gonna go to all endings. So that way the endings kind of make more sense. Um, and this one's gonna be by Lauren Order. So go check his channel out. He makes some great videos. So let's go ahead and get into it.
It's 1893 in Chicago, Illinois. Newly married couple Jeff and Marie Whitman arrive at the World's Fair Hotel. They have come to Chicago to see the large Ferris wheel at the nearby Columbian Exposition. They go to check in, but there's no one around. A man eventually comes to greet the couple.
Henry Howard Holmes.
Henry Howard Holmes. He also introduces himself as an architect, designer, builder, doctor, and an artist. Marie picks something.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how deep the story actually is.
After some tomfoolery, Jeff and Marie get shown to their
Tomfoolery.
room, the honeymoon suite. After a vicious pillow fight, Marie takes a bath and Jeff goes down to the
With
lobby
some bath
as he
milk.
forgot his shaving kit. He mentions that he's sure the corridors have changed, and when he goes to use a door, a trapdoor opens beneath him, and he almost suffers a deadly end.
I missed that skill
Realizing
check.
that Marie may be in danger, Jeff runs back to her. Meanwhile, Holmes is in the bathroom with Marie, and however this plays out, Holmes either drowns Marie or slashes her with a blade, causing her to bleed out.
Okay, so he either drowns her or slashes her with a blade. So we got the one where he slashed her boob open with a blade, because I remember yelling about that. I'm assuming, because there was two options. I don't remember what they were. It was either like go check to see who was there, or just relax. And I think I chose to check, but if you relax, I think then he goes up and drowns you, I'm assuming.
Jeff ends up confronting Holmes, but ends up running into another room. This turns out to be a grave mistake. Holmes releases some kind of gas, which causes Jeff to bleed from the nose and mouth, and Jeff eventually dies.
Yeah, we got all this.
Chosen, Jeff and Marie have one last goodbye. 129 years later, a documentary film crew named Lonnet Entertainment are making documentaries on serial killers.
Charlie Lonnet Entertainment.
Holmes. They're filming a mock-up of the H.H. Holmes trial, where Holmes uttered his infamous speech to the judge presiding over the trial.
I think we've heard quite enough.
Enough? Oh, I've barely begun, Your Honor. You don't seem to understand. I was born with the devil in me.
Ooh.
I could not help the fact that I was a murderer any more than a poet can help the inspiration to sing. Bury me deep, Your Honor. Make sure they fill my pine box with cement. Put me deeper than anyone else. And cover the ground with more cement, 'cause trust me, just being dead ain't enough to stop me from killing again.
After filming the trial, the owner of the company, director Charlie Lonnet,
This is all stuff that we kind of understood,
The
but
opinion, unanimously, is that it's pretty rubbish. After that scathing review, Charlie receives a phone call from a man named Grantham Dumet. Mr. Dumet gives Charlie and his crew an opportunity. He has inherited a full-scale model of the World's Fair Hotel and invites them to shoot some material there. The crew were scheduled for a few weeks off, but this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. They wait for the car that Mr. Dumet sent. It's a limousine. They load up their gear, get inside, and set off. They discuss what they know about Dumet, that the man who left in the hotel was obsessed with H.H. Holmes, and that the rooms are full recreations from the murder castle. Charlie remarks that Dumet is doing this for free, which for Charlie's struggling media company is an absolute godsend. They eventually arrive but need to wait for the ferry to collect them and take them to the island on which the hotel is located. Charlie wants to capture the mist and fog and some footage of the lake, so he and Mark, the director of photography for the show, climb up a nearby decommissioned lighthouse to get a good shot, whilst show host Kate, lighting technician Jamie, and audio technician Erin wait for the ferry.
And now this is just
After
kind of
making
going
their
over
way
like a
through what
brief
seems
go
to be
over
an
the
abandoned
story.
house
So if
and
you
obtaining their
didn't
shot,
watch,
they finally
because some of
meet
you might
Mr.
have just clicked on
Dumet.
this video looking
He's
for an
cooking
all
and
stories
is acting
explained.
pretty strange.
If you didn't
They
watch
get
my
to the island,
series,
but as
then
they
this is
arrive,
just
they're being
the
watched by
brief
a
of the
man in a
story,
yellow
and then we'll get
coat.
into the
They then shoot their intro.
then we'll get
Dumet
into
pipes
the
in,
actual
saying that
story.
under no circumstances are they to take any pictures or shoot.
Like, this is
any
just the
video with
gameplay.
him in it. That he is a very private person. They all question why Dumet is acting so strange, but Charlie says that he just values his privacy. As they leave for the hotel, Kate sees the man in the yellow raincoat picking up their
Banana
bag.
Man!
Privately, Charlie tells Kate that Dumet is hiding something, and he wants to know what it is. Kate fakes an injury to her ankle, and her and Jamie manage to separate from the rest of the group. They find a burnt structure which has a picture of
This is
Dumet and
back
what
before
seems to be his
everyone is
family,
murdered.
and then they have to hide from the yellow coat
Back
man,
before I got
who goes
everyone
into
killed.
a locked area and then leaves. Inside said area is a hazardous substance. They get back to the crew and all of them arrive at the hotel. Kate sees a little girl in the window who then disappears. Dumet then ushers them all into the hotel, but he seems panicky. They're astounded by the hotel and they all sign into the guest book and then go to their rooms. Erin sees Mr. Dumet and the little girl hugging one another, and the girl is crying. Erin is a bit freaked out, so Jamie offers to help her find her room. They have a thing for one another, and after some creepy flirting,
A
they
thing.
speak to Charlie, who can't find his room.
Oh, he
also
didn't
mentions
include the
that
part
Mr.
where they
Dumet
just
will
start
be meeting them for dinner shortly. Charlie
clapping.
is also desperate for a cigarette. Erin and Charlie leave Jamie's room, and Jamie sees Mr. Dumet and the little girl running and boarding the ferry and leaving the island. Erin goes with Charlie to his room and says that his cigarettes are in his blue bag, but they aren't there. Erin does, however.
So
find the
Charlie
letter.
proceeds to
Seems
throw
like
an
Charlie's
absolute
company
fit
is in deep trouble.
and has
The
a
letter
temper
is an
tantrum.
eviction notice. Erin quizzes Charlie on the way down to the lobby on whether or not their jobs are safe, and Charlie convinces her that they are. The lobby has a bar, and Charlie thinks that he may find cigarettes there. The bar is locked, but a mysterious person leaves the bar key on the counter. Charlie gets inside and sees an animatronic behind the bar. He laughs at it, naturally, and asks it for some cigarettes, but it points at an ancient cigarette machine on the wall. Charlie robs some money from the till and tries to get the cigarettes, but no luck. A masked figure appears behind him, but then disappears.
Oh,
Erin appears
yeah.
and tells
I will tell you, I did not fully understand that part of the story where the guy came up behind him but then disappeared. I didn't understand that at all because the guy, from what we understood, is a human that was just recreating the murder castle and everything. So unless he was like a demon, not a real human or something, then why did he just disappear? Why did, you know what I mean? Like, or how did he take an axe to the face and be fine? Or how did he fall off a roof and fucking break his leg and still get up? You know, those are the
Charlie
questions
that
I
it's dinner
have.
time.
And it might explain it here, and we'll look.
With a fucking pry bar.
Meanwhile, Kate and Mark, who recently broke up, have a chat about a job Mark turned down in Detroit. They need to shoot some footage and walk around the hotel trying to find some good natural light. Random doors leading to other hallways appear to be locked, which Kate finds strange. But eventually she and Mark end up in the hotel's library. Mark comments on the smell, a stench of decay, almost like something is rotting. He sees the man in the yellow coat outside again, moving through the library and definitely being watched.
Oh, Banana
Mark
Man.
manages to find a key to the balcony overlooking the lobby. They see a H.H. Holmes hat sat on a pedestal, and it scares both Mark and Kate.
And
They
me.
hear Erin calling everyone for dinner, and Kate is annoyed they didn't get a shot. They have a minor disagreement, and Kate is slagging off Charlie. Little do they know that he is listening to every word. in the
Slacking
lobby.
off Charlie.
Nonetheless, everyone convenes for dinner.
Does not
Jamie
sound
breaks
right.
the news that Dumet probably isn't going to join them, as she saw him leave earlier on. Charlie tries to stay positive and says that maybe Dumet had a legitimate reason. Charlie says that they should take advantage of the situation and start shooting anyway. Whilst the team go and prepare for shooting, the mysterious figure is dressing some mannequins to resemble the crew members. Erin goes to her bedroom to grab some gear and hears the sound of a little girl crying. She uses her directional microphone to track the sound, and then the walls appear to be moving and directing her somewhere. And then the lights in the hotel go out. She hears machinery, people screaming and crying, and a couple arguing coming from behind the walls. Back in the lobby, it seems that it was Jamie who caused the blackout in the hotel, and she has to try and turn the lights back on. She flips the fuses, turning the lights back on, and then comes across an unsettling mannequin barbershop quartet. Charlie's in the lobby, and they wait around for the rest of the crew to join them. Erin, meanwhile, finds the source of the crying. It's a trap. It's just
Oh,
a tape
yeah.
recorder. A Holmes mannequin
I
scares
wonder
her, and
if
she
it
screams. The door
if
then
it goes
shuts
over her
behind her and
death.
the lights go out. Jamie, who has met up with Charlie, hears her screams and she and Charlie run to the room along with Kate and Mark. Erin has asthma and needs her inhaler as 1, she is panicking, and 2, the room is really dusty. The rest of the crew desperately work to try and get Erin out of the room. Mark and Charlie tell Erin to stay calm whilst Kate and Jamie try to find something to break into the room. Erin sees a mysterious figure enter the room who strangely appears to offer her an inhaler. Desperate for the inhaler, she reaches for it, but the man grabs her arm. Weirdly, he cuts off some of her hair and then just leaves. Kate found a candlestick and uses it
Wait,
to
so okay, so obviously I chose to attack. There's 2 options: it's to take the inhaler or attack. I chose to attack, and she got murdered. But if you choose to take the inhaler, the killer just walks up, cuts a piece of her hair off, and then walks out. What is just like a souvenir? I mean, I know that they were talking in the game about how the killer would like cut ears off and teeth off and shit. Maybe that was supposed to be like a souvenir, but he didn't even kill her, so I don't really fully understand that part.
the door handle.
But
Erin is shaken up
okay.
and tells them about the man in the room with her, but they don't really believe her and they take Erin to her room to rest. The crew says their experience so far has just been too weird and they've had enough. Charlie wants them to continue shooting and he leaves with Jamie to try and find Dumet. And Kate and Mark go and pack and get ready to leave.
Yeah, at this
reveals
point
they
for
don't
me,
believe
Aaron
him
was
for
already
Dumet,
dead.
just shouting for
So
shots. They get down to the lobby and it's been ransacked. The counter above the stairs now also reads 180. They spot a trail of blood leading down a corridor and they're pretty freaked out. They hear Dumet's voice over a tannoy system and assume that he's there in the hotel with them. They come across a terrifying sight. The man with the yellow coat sat on a chair and Charlie,
Banana Man!
steps on a pressure plate linked to a blade directly above the man. If Charlie moves, the man will die. To raise the stakes a little, the mysterious man arrives and threatens Charlie with a knife. Charlie either stands his ground and gets cut, steps back,
Oh,
and Jamie
okay,
pulls
yeah.
him back, leading to the man dying a gruesome death. The lights go out and the deceased man and the mysterious stranger are gone.
Yeah, I chose
Charlie
to
and
step
Jamie run
off
back
because
to
I
the
didn't want to
lobby
get
and decide
murdered
it's
for
definitely
Banana
time to
Man,
leave.
but
Charlie noticed the stranger's mask and they try to leave, but metal bars prevent them from doing
I guess
so.
if you stayed on
Back
it,
with
then the
Kate
guy
and
would
Mark,
slice
Kate
your
is
neck,
hanging on
or
to
not
her
slice your neck,
amethyst
like slice
crystal
you in the
as it
chin and
helps with her
he steps
anxiety.
off anyway.
They back and forth a bit about their relationship, boring stuff, and then they leave to go and get Erin. Kate comes across a newspaper. It's an article highlighting that once before Kate had a best friend called Shelby who was herself targeted and killed by a serial killer at their college campus. She's freaked out how and why it's just sat there, almost as if someone placed it there to torment her. Then they hear a sound and the wall starts shifting. Kate and Mark see Jamie and Charlie and the wall separates them and both pairs try to find a way to regroup with the others. Jamie and Charlie talk about Dumet and his twitchy, nervous demeanor and suspect that the man they met on the ferry wasn't Dumet at all, that the stranger in the mask is Dumet. They eventually get led to a large walk-in meat freezer where they find the frozen body of a Natalie Morello. They try to leave, but when Charlie removes the handle for the door, a trapdoor opens beneath him and he falls down into a basement, hitting his head and passing out. Jamie, in the meantime, wanders the hallway
Falls
trying
head
to
first.
find a way back to Charlie. Erin, meanwhile, sees her door close, and a secret door in her room leads her to a dusty corridor. After a quick hit from her inhaler, she ends up at some sort of asylum area called the Silver Ash Institute. She finds 2 creepy mannequins that look very real. She also sees Jamie's phone inside a locked case.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. So he said, so I guess if I didn't get Aaron killed, then we would have seen this, which we didn't see. So I'm glad that we did this. The Silver Ash Institute. Here. Oh shit! I didn't mean to press that.
Close, and a secret door in her room leads her to a dusty corridor. After a quick hit from her inhaler, she ends up at some sort of asylum area called the Silver Ash Institute. She finds 2 creepy mannequins that look very real. She also sees Jamie's phone inside a locked case with a message to her friend Laurel, and Jamie hasn't exactly been saying the most endearing things about Erin. Someone is trying to torment her. Erin finds a recording.
Mr. Dumet, I want my team dead. I'll get them to you.
Oh, that was that recording that we found. So if I wouldn't have gotten Aaron killed, then we would have seen this. So I'm sorry, but if we would have been able to see this, then that's where that recording came in, because Aaron probably thought that Charlie wanted to have him killed. I bet you that led to a whole nother storyline. Then also this
Jamie,
institute
meanwhile, comes
area.
across a projector, which is a feed of the Silver Ash Institute.
This too, we didn't see
Sees
this.
Erin walking around, and on the projector is a note telling Jamie to instruct Erin to hide in a nearby cupboard, or he will kill her. Erin can choose to comply or not, but as we are trying to save her, she successfully hides from Dumet. Kate and Mark eventually realize that they were locked in the hotel and come across a creepy scene.
Oh yeah, and then this is the animatronics.
Much for your jokes, and that's just my cross to bear as the patriarch of our little family. Mark and Jamie, the two of you do the work of a team of 10. And Kate, despite our bickering, you are the heart of this show. You keep people interested.
Jamie walks back through the hallways after saving Erin. After almost being clocked by Mark, they talk about how messed up this all is. Jamie's mannequin starts glitching out, so she hits it with a wine bottle, and to their absolute shock, a human eyeball pops out.
That she
They
proceeds
attempt
to
leave, but the door is locked.
pick up and
They
hold.
enter the bar area and try to find a way out through the cellar. They find Charlie's lighter and see monitors behind a locked door with Charlie on them. Whilst they're trying to get the door unlocked, Charlie, who is now awoken after a short nap, explores the cellar and goes through a series of doors. He is lured into a furnace by, his packet of cigarettes. Shock horror, the door closes behind him and he's locked in by Dumet. Now, at the same time,
Who'd have thought?
Kate, Jamie and Mark get the door open, and both of them and Charlie see a mannequin rise from the ground with a lighter. It lights the furnace, which is now filled with gas. Charlie has a choice to try and reach for the door handle on the other side of the door.
Oh yes, so we chose the metal grate. I wonder
to get
what
under the grating away from the flames.
will he show what
Mark,
happens.
Meanwhile, has to hold a lever in place, preventing the furnace from getting too hot, under the threat of being burned alive himself. Kate pulls Mark away just in time. Dumet then listens as Charlie burns alive. The others lament the loss of Charlie and they're being watched by Dumet. He opens the door, he's funneling them right where he...
Yeah, so I didn't see any of this part where Mark has to hold a lever and stuff like that. I only had Charlie, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe that's the
Following tunnel,
multiplayer
the group
thing.
end up in what appears to be an old rundown spa called the Columbus Spa. Again, surprise, surprise, Jamie and Mark get separated from Kate. On their way back to her through a locker area,
But I
Jamie
guess
and Mark see mannequins.
if Charlie just goes for the door, then he just reaches his hand out and it appears to not be able to get it open. I don't know what would have happened if he would. Maybe he would have died if he would have chosen door twice. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. This right here, this bitch was scary as hell. This is the one that screams at you
but they all
whenever you
seem to
walk
be
up on it.
staged, all dying in specific ways. Two in particular seem to be the unfortunate victims of a sick game where only one can survive. They regroup with Kate again, but they're being stalked. They find their way back to the lobby and the counter has changed again. 181. Back with Erin, she leaves the cupboard she was hiding in, but is startled by Dumet. He's sat there waiting for her. He walks after her, chasing her straight into a door which seals behind her. On the other side, Kate does the same thing after hearing Erin's scream. They are both now locked in a contraption which
So this
sucks
is
the air out
another.
of
This
both
is another one I didn't get to experience because I got Aaron killed.
sections. A regulator can only save one of them. They have to choose. I chose to kill Kate, and that was a good decision, as Kate's window actually has a leak, and Mark managed
Okay,
to
so it's
get
another one of those choose one to kill one kind of things, but
the window saving Kate. Kate says that Charlie is dead, and Erin says that he got what was coming to him. She explains the tape she heard of Charlie telling Dumet to kill his crew. The crew are naturally skeptical, but they say they need to stick together. Dumet is listening to them and he gets to work in separating them. Mark falls through a trapdoor and Jamie gets separated from Kate and Erin. Mark is then in another area of the basement. He has to hide from Dumet a couple of times, but finds a mannequin head featuring human teeth and an ear attached to it, along with another lifelike animatronic. Despite
saw
the
that
threat
one.
of the killer, Mark
press
finds
the
a way.
button. Press the
Whilst Mark was pottering
button.
about in the basement, Jamie finds a mirror with a latch behind it, leading to a secret area with a camera and monitors. Not only that, but a strange scene featuring an interrogation room and another human-like animatronic smoking a cigarette. Dumet is there in the room, but eventually leaves. Kate and Erin search a nearby room after hearing yet more crying noises and find an unfinished book
hell
about
no.
someone called the Beast of Arkansas. On the back is the man that they thought was Dumet. His name is actually Joseph Morello, a true crime writer. In a locked room, they find the source of the
Yeah,
crying.
that's
an
the guy
animatronic
who
with a
led
real
us here.
human head. She matches the woman on the picture Kate found earlier on.
I was
Back in
waiting for the head to
basement,
fall
turns out that
off.
Charlie is alive. He dusts himself off and moves further into the basement. He finds the man they saw die earlier was just an
Banana
animatronic
Man!
designed to scare them. He
Animatronic
finds a
Banana
blackboard
Man.
detailing Dumet's animatronic design, which uses real humans. Charlie sees no other way out than to use a conveyor belt, but he has to hide from Dumet.
Oh yeah, that was the
He
skill
is
check I
disposing
missed
of
and almost
all
got
their
him killed.
belongings by grinding them into nothing. Charlie, trying to avoid a grizzly
Oh
animal,
shit!
escapes armor.
I guess that's what happens whenever you if you fuck up the breathing thing or you miss the skill check to get out of it.
Grinding them
Yeah,
into nothing.
Charlie turns
Charlie,
into
trying to
this.
avoid
Oh my god, imagine that'd be a thumbnail right there. Just Charlie getting fucking ripped apart.
With a grisly end, manages
God,
to
that would
stay
be
calm, and
painful.
Dumet
Imagine.
finally leaves.
I can't.
Jamie eventually sees Kate and Erin on the other side of a one-way mirror, and she smashes the glass. They hear Dumet coming, so they hide and enter into a massive core structure in the hotel, a control center, the place where Dumet controls all of his traps, cameras, and moving walls. They find an email conversation which shows that Dumet ordered his mask that he wears to be custom made. Another document shows that he's modeling his look on that of H.H.
I did not see this part, so I mean, obviously he was modeling himself off of H.H. Holmes, but I didn't see the actual documents and stuff that said that he bought it. I'm gonna go back real quick so we can see. The total cost would be $1,800. Is this the person that did the mask?
Made.
Yeah.
Another document shows that he's modeling his look on that.
And so yeah, you have like H.H. Holmes kind of down here, and then you have him who's like modeling it with the mask and everything, trying to get that mustache look without having to keep a mustache. It's like the one thing this guy wants in life is to be able to grow a fat stash, and he can't do it, so he has to buy that big old white mask.
That of H.H. Holmes. They formulate a plan to trap Dumet between two moving walls in the section of the hotel that is still under construction. Jamie acts as the
I wonder
bait,
where those were at,
and
because I
sure
looked in
enough,
that
Dumet
area.
chases her and walks right into their trap. But Dumet knows the hotel better than them and confronts Jamie.
Oh yeah,
She
that
runs,
too.
manages to get back to her friends, but Dumet is still calmly pursuing
I was like, how does he
them.
just morph through the
Jamie
wall?
and Kate get trapped inside yet another contraption of death, a moving glass wall which will crush the other. On Jamie's side is a button. She has to choose to press and kill Kate, or do nothing and sacrifice herself. Depending on whether or not Kate received a screwdriver from Jamie earlier on, this will affect.
Okay, so I kind of brought this up. So whoever had the screwdriver would be the one that survives. If you press the button and Kate had the screwdriver, she'd break the glass. If Kate didn't have the screwdriver, then she would get her head crushed.
Who lives and dies.
Let's see if he
If Kate
shows it.
received the screwdriver from Jamie, Jamie presses the button, and Kate uses the screwdriver at the very last second to shatter the glass from the pressure. If she doesn't have the screwdriver and Jamie presses the button,
I wonder if that's
well,
actually how that works.
death.
You just have one screwdriver. Oh my
Assuming
god.
They live, they root down the screwdriver.
Oh
Jamie
my
presses
god,
the
that
button,
blood.
Well,
I wonder
death.
if that's actually how that works. That little screwdriver actually could destroy that whole piece of glass. I know I've heard like if you put pressure on one point of glass, it breaks it a lot easier than just like banging at it. But I don't know about something that big if it would work like that. And then if they don't have the screwdriver, you see what happens here with just a big old blood splatter. And you can kind of see Kate
Assuming they
behind
live,
it.
they regroup with Erin, but they don't have much rest time as Dumet chases them again. They all exit through a window in one of the rooms, and after hiding,
Yeah, I
and
was
through
able to choose
struggle,
Jamie
they
while
make it
Jamie
down
had
to
the
rear of
screwdriver.
hotel. They're in a garden maze, and they find a secret room underneath the carousel. Dumet, sly as ever, is posing as a statue and gives chase yet again. They go through a barn whilst being chased, and
Remember that?
rewarded with a
Aaron's
bit of
there for
good
that, yeah.
fortune as the
Oh shit,
decking-
Aaron and Jamie were there for that part. Yeah, see, right before this, I got Jamie killed because I went to have her attack Dumet, and Jamie fell off the roof and like got
collapse
stabbed
and
in
they
the
will fall
chest,
down the hill. Mark comes to
impaled.
the end of the vent he escaped through and finds an old swimming pool area which leads him round a cliffside path. Mark finds that the ferry controls are not working. It's been shut down. Further up the path, Mark finds a furry friend called Connie, the dog belonging to the
Oh,
Morello
the
family.
doggy. It's the
Mark
dog.
climbs down a nearby elevator shaft.
Oh,
and
the
comes
dog
across
belonged to
an
the Morello family. Okay, so that's the guy that lured us here and got killed at the end. That's who owns the dog, Connie. Okay.
old derelict building.
That
Charlie,
explains why the
meanwhile,
dog bowl
encounters
was in
Connie
the
dog
room.
himself and climbs down the same elevator shaft and meets up with Mark. They enter the building, an old curing house, and it stinks in there. They have to hide in a couple of freezers as Dumet turns
Old
up.
curing
Charlie
house,
has
like
to
what for
stay
meat?
calm or,
maybe?
you know, death.
Oh my god, what the f
Freezers as Dumet
So if
turns
you
up.
messed if you
Charlie
messed
has
up
to
a
stay
skill
calm
check on this,
or, you know,
then Charlie looks like that. Holy shit. His lighter's still going and everything. He's sitting there fucking dead with the lighter going and everything. That is crazy.
death.
That looks insane.
Dumet leaves and they find the preserved body of a man named Harrison Lee, along with notes on
I
the
didn't see
preservation
that.
process. It's clear that
Did
Dumet
I
is
see that?
trying
Maybe
to
I
find
did.
suitable specimens for his animatronics.
I don't think so.
They
I don't think I
exit
saw
the
any of
curing
that.
house and see the lighthouse on top of the hill. Kate and Jamie try to find Erin as they got separated.
Jamie's
and they
dead
end up
in
at
my
an
game.
abandoned house. They come across Connie the dog, whose collar is caught on something, but they are disturbed yet again by Dumet. Jamie hides with the dog and Kate hides behind the couch. Connie growls at Dumet and barks, giving away Jamie's position, but before Dumet can kill her, she is saved by Kate and they run outside. Dumet then leaves.
I got saved by
Charlie and Mark come
tomatoes
across
instead
Erin by the
because
lighthouse,
Jamie was
and Erin
dead.
confronts Charlie about the recording they found.
Aaron's
Mark
already
backs
dead.
Charlie up.
But this
Across
is where, like I was saying, Aaron probably says something to him about the recording that she
Erin by
heard.
the lighthouse, and Erin confronts Charlie about the recording they found. Mark backs Charlie up though, and they go into the house through the basement window. Mark finds a key for a boat along with
Okay,
the
so
recording showing-
Mark backed him up, and so I guess Aaron's like, oh, okay, then that's fine.
The recording Erin found earlier was doctored, a fake. Mark then makes
Yeah,
his
we
way to
saw
the top of
that.
the lighthouse and manages to turn it on. He goes downstairs and sees Jamie and Kate running towards the house. Mark is ambushed by Dumet though, and a fight takes place between the two. Kate and Jamie enter the house and come across a strange sight. An elderly lady in a rocking chair, and, of course, Dumet turned her into an animatronic. Hearing the commotion coming from upstairs, Kate opens the door, and depending on how the fight went, she finds Mark lying on the floor. They run from Dumet and head towards the dock. Due to Mark turning on the lighthouse, a police officer arrives via boat
State
to
police
investigate,
boat.
as the lighthouse is supposed to be decommissioned.
We all saw how
He
this
finds the
went.
bodies of Joseph Morello and his young daughter on the dock. A
Oh,
tense
so his
stand-
daughter was beside him, which was hello, Mr. Police Officer. He saw the body of the daughter. I guess that's what the little shoes were beside him. It was his daughter, the little girl that we saw hugging him at the beginning of the game.
takes place between the
So
officer
he-
and the crew.
Dumet killed
but
both
Dumet
of them.
turns up and chops the officer's hand off and kills
So
him.
I guess since they were the last people in the murder castle, maybe Dumet forced them to, like, said, "I will kill you if you don't lure more people in." Because why would he lure more people in on his own will? But then why did they still die then? Or maybe I don't know.
Mark tries to grab the officer's gun, but Dumet knocks it into the water. Mark grabs the officer's pepper spray. They head for the boat and
I
board it
wonder
and-
if Mark would die if because we had the option to grab the pepper spray or not. I wonder if we didn't grab the pepper spray, you know, whenever he's like getting his head about to be crushed into an axe. I wonder if, because I had to spray him with pepper spray, I wonder if he would have gotten killed if I didn't
along
have
with
pepper spray.
Maquany. They struggle to get the boat started and manage to do so just in time as Dumet pursues them. They talk on the boat about how happy they are to all be alive, but in true slasher horror
Not in my
style,
game.
Dumet isn't done. He tries to swing for Erin, who dodges and falls into the water. Charlie does the same. Jamie evades Dumet and jumps in too, leaving Kate and Mark on the boat.
Okay,
Mark
yeah, I
is in
saw
danger of
this.
being killed by Dumet,
Yeah,
he
so right there, if he wouldn't have gotten the pepper spray, then would he have just gotten crushed into the
uses
axe?
the pepper spray, temporarily incapacitating Dumet. Mark then grabs a
Oh yeah,
small
and then
rifle and
like
throws it at
if this
Dumet.
guy is not, if this guy's a human, then how does he survive this? You know what I mean? Like how does this man survive this stuff?
The chain gets caught in the propeller blades.
And whenever
dragging
he
him
gets
underwater,
drug in
killing
and
him.
it's
Kate
like
and
yeah,
Mark then
killing
dive in
him,
before the boat
right?
hits the rocks. They all then swim to shore, and a passing truck driver sees them calling for help, and he calls the.
And is it just me or is that the
They all
gas?
then swim to shore, and a passing truck driver.
I thought I noticed this. Is that the gas? Isn't the long one the gas? Or am I tripping? No, yeah, that's the gas,
Calling for help.
right? That's the gas. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I swear the guy slammed on the gas and then
And he calls the state police, who rescue the crew.
I don't know.
What an ordeal! It's finally over. Dumet is dead, or is he?
Yeah, exactly. But my question is like, if they're going to, if they're not ever gonna make a Devil in Me 2 or a Devil in Me Continued or something like that. They're not ever gonna make another Devil in Me. So why didn't they just either kill him off or show his face one last time or something? Why did they just have all this happen? The mask gets thrown off, but then he's alive still. It doesn't make
Final
much
shot
sense
is
to
of
me.
some friends getting excited about a free trip to an island for 5 people, and that Mr. Dumet will be sending a limo. The game then ends.
Yeah, then
So that's
the
the
next
dumbed-down
victim.
version of the plot. Now we'll get into looking at the secrets found in the game and how they explain everything that happens or has happened in the game. So now we'll look at America's first serial killer, H.H. Holmes. We won't go too in depth here, as the game is mostly just inspired by him, but we'll look at his background and how the hotel came to be. Real name Herman Mudgett, H.H. Holmes hid under the guise of being a doctor, a businessman. Holmes designed a hotel which on the
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about H.H. Holmes before I started playing this game. Like, I really didn't know. All I knew was he was, like, the first serial killer in America, and I heard that because of this game. So, like, I really didn't know. So this will be interesting.
outside was a grand spectacle, but within the walls was a murder castle designed for disposing of human
But I am
bodies.
curious if the walls that are moving, like they were in this game, was an actual thing. Because I can't imagine having moving walls that long ago, in, like, the 1800s.
Leaving absolutely no trace of them. But let's go back.
More human bones Chicago. Huh.
a bit. Early on, before Herman Mudgett even started designing his hotel, he arrived in Chicago and immediately found work in the suburb of Englewood. He found work at the E.S. Holton drugstore. A few months later, Everett S. Holton dies of supposed natural causes. Yeah, sure. Then, after selling the drugstore to Mudgett, Claire Holton, Everett's wife, goes missing. Now that Mudgett owned the drugstore, he had a good supply of cash coming in. He would assume various aliases at this point, with him becoming known as Henry Howard Holmes. He came up with ways to
Kept
make
changing
more
his
money and
name.
would scam people out of their money. In 1888, he secures the lease for a plot of land across the street from his drugstore. It's now that he starts the design of his murder castle, the World's Fair Hotel. Holmes's dream was about to be realized. He would hire work crews, but then fire them under the guise of them doing poor work, and he would not pay them. This way, with different constructions groups involved, only he would truly know the layout of his hotel. He would have the finest wares, and he'd buy them on credit and simply refuse to pay for them. Holmes also had a huge bank vault installed.
So
in the
this guy
hotel,
did
but
a bunch of credit fraud and stuff. Like, so this guy just was like, he was not only murdering people, but he was frauding people and
built a room
stealing
around
money
it,
and all
then
kinds of
refused
stuff.
to pay for the vault. The bank then said that they'll repossess the vault, but Holmes craftily said that they can do so, but if they damage his hotel's building in any way, then he'll sue them. The design of the hotel was meticulous, specific rooms designed to kill people in a very certain way. He would dispose of the bodies, and on one occasion he sold a skeleton to Hahnemann Medical College for around $200.
They didn't find that suspicious at all that this guy has a human body. Hey, take this human skeleton for only $200. I promise I didn't murder it. Yeah, okay.
Eventually, in 1895, the game was up for Holmes, and Chicago police entered the hotel. They found unimaginable horrors, including a medieval-style dungeon. Holmes would be arrested and trialed and sentenced to death by hanging after confessing to 27
Oh yeah, they
murders.
hung him, that's right.
However, investigators
27
considered there to be
murders.
as many as 200. The castle was touted to be turned into a
It would be so easy to get away with murder back then too, because nowadays, like, the murderers, you only get, you know, like, if you get like a serial killer nowadays, they get to like 3, 4, 5 people. Back then, before you had technology, you had all this stuff, someone went missing and it would be like, oh well, I'm sure they just died on the damn trails on their way to Chicago. I'm sure they went up to Chicago and fucking died from the cold or the heat or something. You know what I mean? Back then they didn't care. Nowadays, someone goes missing and then they'll find you in a week.
museum, but it was eventually burned down. No one knew how or why, but many considered it to be a disgruntled citizen, not wanting people to profit off of something so heinous. Allegedly, at Holmes' execution on May 7, 1896, it took 15 minutes for him to die, as his neck didn't snap from the force of the hanging. But after his execution, Holmes would live on.
Hector
On June 12,
Monday.
1965, a boy named Hector Monday was born to his mother Lucinda. His father Clarence wasn't around and left while Lucinda was pregnant. Lucinda didn't cope well at all with this and started to physically abuse Hector. His teachers noticed the abuse and bruising on his body, and the abuse affected his behavior at school. A letter from the school principal, Mr. Thompson, to Hector's mother wasn't received at all well. Shortly after this, a medical report on Hector shows him suffering from the effects of secondhand smoke.
Now we
as his
saw
mother was
this.
smoking around him. He also showed signs on his body of being physically restrained. Now, back at home...
But see, my dumbass didn't put 2 and 2 together like that. Like, I didn't know any of this. There was a book beside the grandma.
Hector occasionally read a children's book about a lonely boy who himself read a book about a boy who lived with his strict aunt. The boy in that book then got tired
I
of
didn't
being
see
told
this.
off all the time and wore a mask to scare his aunt. This book would ultimately be an inspiration to Hector Monday later in life. Anyway, years later, Hector would study for and obtain a degree in psychology in May of 1988. The following year, he joined the FBI at the age of around 23, and a short time later, he joined the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit and would become Special
Yeah, we
Agent
saw all
Hector
this.
Monday. A few years later, in 1992, his mother Lucinda is moved to a nursing wing called Twilight Prairie. Now, this is where Hector's life takes a rather sinister turn. Special Agent Monday is assigned to a case where he meets a serial killer named Manny Sherman. In the 90s, there was a serial killer in Arkansas named one Manny Sherman, aka the Beast of Arkansas. Sherman went on a rampage and killed 13 people. He lured realtors to a plot of land on top of which stood houses scheduled for demolition. He posed as a contractor, claiming he was interested in flipping the houses and then miles from anywhere he would kill his victims. He would even use the sound of overhead aircraft to mask their screams. He was eventually arrested in 1997 after a long investigation headed up by Hector Monday. But Sherman seems to notice something during the sessions in which Monday is interrogating him. He notices that Monday almost seems to be learning from him, hanging on every word. What's more is that Sherman tells Monday that he is an original in terms of his methods, but he did take inspiration from another serial killer, H.H. Holmes. Sherman waxes lyrical about Holmes, saying that he was the first, America's first, that Holmes invented the trade, that he was the benchmark. Sherman says that even though he is a killer, he is still smart. In the third session, Sherman straight up tells Monday that he seems different. He tells Monday that he sees a glimmer in his eye, and he calls him a little devil. Sherman has seen something in Hector Monday. He tells Monday that he kills people and calls it art. Not murder, but an aesthetic response to what the world had made him into. He then asks Agent Monday if he's left his mark on the world. Then, in their final session, Sherman indicates something. He realizes that Monday is himself a psychopath. And this happens.
I see the gleam in your eye, Agent
Yeah, I remember
Monday.
this.
You're not fooling me. Ah, look at you now, huh? Am I gonna be your first? Well, come on then, huh? I'm right here. This room is soundproof. You don't even have to wait for a plane to fly overhead.
He do be murdering him.
I see you now. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. Bare hands can feel good, huh? But the blade makes for such a prettier picture. You've got potential, Agent Monday, if you truly want to be an artist.
A switch has been flipped. Hector, over the years, learning, nay, obsessing, over Manny Sherman, Hector became consumed by his case. Over the years and during the case, Hector would visit his mother, but by 1997,
So I guess
she
he
was
killed
very ill. She was
Manny
diagnosed with
Sherman
lung
then.
cancer the previous year and was dying. Hector would visit his mother often, and rather bizarrely, he would record his mother's voice, much to the discomfort of the other residents on the wing, along with the staff, and was asked to stop doing so by the manager of Twilight Prairie.
I didn't hear this. Dog's barking again. When is the dog not barking? The
So due to
Shoeshine
the successful
Killer.
capture of Manny Sherman, Hector was assigned to a brand new case in October of 1997, investigating another serial killer, this time in Chicago. This serial killer had already claimed 2 lives, and many more were anticipated. One of these victims had their teeth removed, and another had their ear removed. Investigations found that the first victim who had their teeth removed was actually still alive, whereas the second victim with their ear had to be done post-mortem. The coroner indicates that the killer seems to be learning on the job, and not just that, it seems the killer is keeping souvenirs. Then on the 11th of January 1998, Lucinda Monday passed away with Hector
I
at her
didn't see
bedside.
that either.
But the dark side of her death is that Hector was the one that killed her. It gets worse. A couple of weeks later, Hector steals her body from her grave and takes it back home with him. He then preserves his mother and turns it into...
That's his mother. I did not see the picture of that. I didn't hear that he killed her, and I also didn't know that was his mother. So it makes sense now. But it doesn't make sense why he killed her, but it makes sense why he preserved her.
an animatronic.
He didn't want to let her
I
go.
know it's mental. He places a speaker in her mouth, and that is why he was recording her. Hector is clearly unable to process the fact that his mother is gone. In July of that same year, Hector is subject to a psych evaluation by a Dr. Isabella Garcia due to the fact that his mother's death is affecting his work. And this is how that session went.
Psych Psychological assessment conducted by Dr. Isabella Garcia. Patient name, Monday, Hector. Behavioral observation. Hector arrived at our scheduled appointment 24 minutes late. Once we sat down and began the session, he struggled to maintain eye contact. He found it difficult to articulate his feelings and was terse and guarded throughout. Hector has been working long hours and, as a result, isn't sleeping well. Hector spoke about his recently deceased mother and displayed evidence that he hasn't yet fully come to terms with her death.
Yeah, because
I
you fucking stole her, you
strongly
killed her,
recommend
stole her body, and then preserved it.
But he is
And then put a
resistant
voice
to
box in her.
procedure, believing
So
that
he
it
just
would have
sits
a
there and talks.
detrimental effect on his capability with regards to his current investigation. Hector describes his work in immaculate detail, and contrary to earlier in the session, his thought content is both coherent and logical. He is displaying an unhealthy obsession with his work. But his recent bereavement may be the underlying issue.
It seems that Hector is throwing himself deeper into his work to escape the reality of his mother dying. Special Agent Monday eventually goes missing, and an officer, Officer Stanley, goes to his place to check in on him. The officer arrives to find blood everywhere, and he is killed. The police then put out an APB broadcast.
All units, this is dispatch. Be on the lookout for a male suspect believed to be the Shoe Shine Killer. Suspect is FBI Special Agent Hector Monday. He may be armed and is highly dangerous.
Dispatch, this is Officer Martinez. I found Monday's car, requesting backup.
Officer Martinez, what's your location?
A warehouse on Park Avenue, Fulton River. Looks abandoned.
Officer Martinez, backup on its way. Hold your position.
Copy that. Shit! He's seen me!
Officer Martinez, hold your position.
Oh. So now he's on, like, what? He's killed 2 officers now? We have a situation. I've been shot and I'm about to fucking die.
On their way.
Still in there. You read me? Copy. He's still in there.
Good morning, Chicago. We begin today with some breaking news. Chicago police today confirmed the body of a man found in a fire at an abandoned warehouse in the Fulton River district to be that of missing FBI agent Hector Monday. Monday has been identified as the Shoe Shine Killer, whose recent killing spree struck fear into the hearts of locals in and around Chicago. A spokesperson for Chicago PD confirmed Monday murdered 4 victims, including yesterday evening police officer Patrick Stanley, a dedicated veteran of 22 years. The fire was brought under control shortly before 5 a.m. this morning. The body recovered at the scene was burnt beyond recognition, but police identified Monday from dental records.
Well, who didn't see that one coming? Shortly before his death, Hector Monday had audaciously entered the police evidence lockup and stole a load of evidence pertaining to him. The police chalked it down to souvenir hunters and fanatics. So Monday fakes his own death, but of course he cannot use the name Hector Monday anymore, so he comes up with a number of aliases. A couple of the aliases Monday would assume were those of and Richard
Okay,
Belknap.
so that makes sense.
Monday would capture animals and kill
It's just
them,
a backup
turning them
name.
into animatronics. Belknap would go on to befriend a young
Just a
couple named
backup
Mark and
name,
Jennifer
the
Edwards,
Grantham
and in
Dumet.
2011, their life insurance specialist would receive notice for their entire estate to be left to Richard Belknap in the event of their deaths. He had somehow convinced this couple to leave him absolutely everything. That included the lighthouse and all of the land it sat on. Lo and behold, the Edwards both ended up dead, but it's not clear when exactly. On that land was an old hotel.
I
Now,
wonder
it looks
why.
like the hotel closed down in 1934 due to water damage, collapsing a ceiling in the boiler room of the hotel's spa. This is why Mark, whilst in the library, says that he can detect the stench of decay, like something is rotting. In January 2017, he puts his plan in motion. Himself inspired by H.H. Holmes, thanks in large part to Manny Sherman, Monday birthed a similar fantasy: to create a full-scale replica of Holmes' murder castle as a tourist attraction. He hires a contractor and gives them plans for the hotel. They quote him a massive $838,000 for the work, and much like Holmes, Monday, or rather his current alias, Richard Belknap, has absolutely no intention of paying.
So, yeah. So Richard Belknap was also one of his aliases. So he was Agent Monday. He got rid of that because they were on to him. He faked his death. and then he became Grantham Dumet. Well, not and then in order, but he also became Grantham Dumet, and then used that to lure people in and buy stuff. And then he also used Mr. Belknap as the construction name. So they left everything to him. He used that to pay for all the construct. Well, he didn't pay, but to have the construction people come, the
Paying that
contractors.
money. Work then commences on the hotel on the 13th of January 2017 and will be completed on the 24th of March 2017. The logbook shows that over those 10 weeks, equipment had been going missing, and one of the crew, James Kelly, had left a note stating that he had an emergency. Another of the crew, Bobby, then also left. The crew, to their credit, eventually managed to finish the hotel's construction, but the day after they were due to finish, Richard Belknap has requested further renovations, this time to the hotel's spa. The firm instruct the site foreman, Jesse Clark, to run a cost assessment for the requested work, and the firm will send a replacement crew to take over from them. But here's where Belknap's sinister plan comes to the fore. The remaining crew, Jesse, Laura, Frank, Monica, and Ryan, stay to complete the extra work while they wait for the replacement crew. It only takes one day before things start going wrong. Ryan leaves a note for Jesse and says that his mother isn't well. Jesse is sure that Ryan's mother had already died years back. Belknap then helped Monica install the tannoy system, and then Belknap reported Monica wasn't feeling well, so she went to lie down. Belknap then writes a resignation letter on behalf of Monica, and Laura hasn't come out of her room. In truth,
He wrote a resignation letter because
Belknap has been killing them one by one.
Yeah.
In one particular game, he pitted Monica and Ryan Hart, likely brother and sister, against one another in a sick game.
That's
not really
crazy.
Similar to something out of Saw.
Imagine just looking at that saw right there and looking up, you see your brother, your sister, whatever. You look over, brother, sister, look down, saw. Are you fighting, or are you just gonna like head first? I mean, me personally, I'm fighting. Oh, I'm pulling them in, but
Plan to
whatever.
return to the mainland the following morning.
But at the end of the day, it's not like it matters. It's not like he's gonna let the winner go free. He's just one of them gets sliced. One of their stomach gets sliced open, and they get murdered that way, and then the other one probably gets stabbed and killed to death, or beat across the head. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, either way, they're gonna
Frank
die.
and Jesse both end up dead. With the entire crew dead, Belknap finished the remaining work himself. He spent the next few months acquiring various H.H. Holmes memorabilia like Holmes' actual hat, not a cheap purchase at just over 24 grand, but of course, he bought it on credit. He also obtained Jeff and Marie's jewelry that Holmes stole from him
Credit,
back
just
in
like Holmes
1893.
did back in the
He
day.
also had a custom mask made to help him look like H.H. Holmes and perfected his look. He installed various things around his hotel, one of which was the animatronic corpse of Manny Sherman, which you'll recall he body snatched from his grave. Then, in November of the same year, with everything in place, he wrote to Kelly Schroeder of KD Contractors. Seems that Belknap fabricated a story that involved a tragedy regarding the crew dying in the lake surrounding the island. He then invited Kelly and her team to the grand opening on the 17th of November so that they could expose the hotel for themselves.
And it was the
Except to say
first-
that they all ended up dead.
First group of victims.
Over
I bet
time,
you
Monday
their name was in
perfected
the
hotel
sign-in
experience
book.
for 5 people at a time. By the time the guests get there, they see a counter by the staircase with the number 178 on it. This represents the number of victims that the hotel has claimed. Monday had now fabricated a new alias, Grantham Dumet. He fabricated a story that he, Grantham Dumet, had inherited the hotel from a relative. The hotel register shows us that Dumet is faithfully sticking by his 5 people at a time rule. The month of October had been a busy month for
Can
him.
we see? Oh, maybe
5
not.
people arrived at the end of September and then checked out. Checked out from life, of course. Then the following
Checked
day,
out from
5 more
life.
people arrived. This group consisted of horror fiction
That seems to be a
writer
consistent
Harrison Lee and
thing.
his husband Lewis,
He kills the
along with
group,
Harrison's
and the next
publicist,
day,
Kurt Hall,
another group comes,
his
he
wife
kills them,
Cecil,
another group
and
comes.
Kurt's son Thomas. A note shows us what happened to them. Harrison Lee died by asphyxiation, Lewis died by drowning, Cecil was impaled on a sundial, and Kurt and Thomas were shot. Dumet wasn't finished there though. He would keep Harrison Lee's body and use it to document Dumet's preservation of the body. He moved it to a curing house, and he placed him in formaldehyde and noticed that he was not showing signs of obvious deterioration, so considered him to be made into an animatronic, a prime candidate, much like he did with his mother. It's clear from this that he wants more specimens in order to make more animatronics. The following day, another 5 people arrive.
There's the
This time,
Morellos.
the Morello family. Joseph Morello was contacted by Grantham Dumet on the 14th of October 2022. Morello was an author who wrote works on serial killers. His area of specialty? H.H. Holmes. It just so happened that Morello was actually writing a book about Manny Sherman. Dumet used Morello's fascination of homes to lure Morello to the island and to the hotel. Morello, of course, was asked to invite 4 friends or family members along too. He took his wife, Michelle, and their 2 daughters, Natalie and Bethany.
Damn, he
and
took his
also
whole
his brother,
family and they all got
Francis.
murdered.
They arrive, but it doesn't take long for them to be targeted.
And this is
He
that thing that
observes
took me
Michelle from his
30
command
years.
center, brainstorming ways in which he can kill her. He kills Natalie, the older daughter, and places her in a meat freezer. He chops Francis' hand off and leaves him to bleed out in a wooden shed. All that's left is Joseph and his youngest daughter, Bethany, but he spared them both. But why did Dumet leave them alive? Now, the good ending didn't tell us what Monday's, or Dumet's, deal really was. He always had them arrive in groups of 5, and his planning was meticulous. But he would never lure people to the island himself, not directly anyway. He would plan down to the finest detail. He managed to get the team's medical history and observe them for a while, managing to get a lot of information about them. Remember, he was an expert in this kind of thing due to his old job with the FBI. A secret ending achieved under specific circumstances reveals a cycle that he was following. Under these circumstances, Erin, Jamie, and Charlie must die, and the sole survivors need to be Kate and Mark all the way up until the final section. Mark activates the lighthouse and
So
gets
this
into a fight with
must be
Dumet.
the secret ending
Dumet
then.
then takes Mark's
And
place.
after we do this is going to be probably like a little like skim through of it. It'll just tell you this is why this happens. And just for the people that are curious, after this, I'll go over the actual secret ending just so you guys see it.
Tricks Kate, who is drugged by Dumet. They both get dragged away, and Kate is strapped to a table with the threat of being drip-fed hydrochloric acid, and Mark is locked
God
inside
dang.
some sort of chamber featuring a phone.
So they
Then a familiar
so this is
face comes
completely
up on
different.
screen. Joseph Morello. This is what he has to say.
My name is Joseph Morello.
What is this?
I'm a true crime author. If you're hearing this, then yesterday we met and I led you to believe I was Grantham Dumet.
So he had this
I
whole
no
thing
choice in
pre-recorded.
the matter. I was asked to do this by the actual Dumet. And now, he needs you to do the same thing and make a call. The number is on speed dial. Whoever answers, you need to tell them that you are Dumet. There's a script in front of you. Use it. Then get them
Wow.
to the island.
Wait. What?
Mark,
Just like I
something.
did to you. Ferry them over. Get them into the house. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this, but it was the only way he'd give me back my daughter. I had to get her back. I'm so sorry. But whoever he has that you care about, they don't have much time.
Dumet would keep one person alive to make a call under duress, and would keep another person, a loved one, as a hostage, if you like, to ensure that they would follow through with his request. He would then let them go, but not really, as he would end up killing them when they tried to leave via the ferry. Dumet
Wow.
had pre-showed
So that's a big one right there. So he, like he said, keeps one as the hostage, makes the other call probably another person that's obsessed with H.H. Holmes, another media company, something like that. Convinces them that he's Dumet, wants them to come, and then does the same thing at what we thought was Dumet who was actually Morello, and leads them onto the boat, meets them, and he's the face of the murder castle, the guy who owns it, convinces them to stay, and then the real Dumet the killer promises that they'll release the hostage after that transaction is made. Now, what appears to happen is it appears that he did release the hostage because we saw Morello hugging his daughter, and we saw them both leave on the boat. And after he releases the hostage for them to be free, he fucking kills them. So it's one big cycle, which is crazy to me, and that's super smart because, I mean, it's just a crazy story idea, but it was really smart that they would
chosen
even
Mark
think about
to be
that.
the ferryman, as seen here. His intention was to keep Kate, due to her and Mark being romantically involved, and use her to coerce Mark into making...
Because then, and they were in here, I'm sure, well, so he recorded this video before he actually finished it, before they let him go. So he thought that he was going to be let free. So when they play that video, Morello tells them that this is how you get the hostage free, and then doesn't know that he's gonna fucking die still. And same with his daughter. Dumet has no remorse for little children either. So
making the
that's
phone
crazy,
call
crazy to me.
keep the cycle going. Mark can obviously refuse to make the call to the next victim, but if he goes along with it, the next target is revealed to be someone named Collins. These people here.
But wait,
Mark
and
will
once
take the-
again, if I'm sure if you, it's one of those things because that's just how it is at the murder castle here. If you refuse to make the call, Kate dies, and then you die. If you do make the call, then the same thing happens to Morello. Y'all get free, y'all both die. Let's see. I bet you that show
tried
right
to
now.
leave like Morello and his daughter tried to.
Yeah, get
but
on
they
the
too
boat
get
after.
shot by Dumet.
That's exact.
So
Okay.
essentially, if Mark and
So
Kate
that's
got
how he kills him.
captured,
He pulls
they
out the
invite
hunting
Collins to
rifle
the island,
and
but
snipes
if
them and
everyone
kills them.
survived, the group of teenagers at the end of the game get invited instead.
Gotcha.
Now, lastly, the final scene with the curator was a bit odd. He's looking at and writing down a list of names. Herman Mudgett, Henry Howard Holmes, Hector Munday, and Grantham Dumet. All of the originals and the aliases. He looks visibly annoyed, and then the whole place rumbles and shakes, and then something slams and hits the door leading to the repository. What is happening? Has the curator allowed too many people to live, therefore something higher and more powerful than him is coming for him? Throughout Man of Medan, Little Hope, and House of Ashes, aside from the stories and the way they play out, many have been intrigued by the curator and what exactly his role is. I guess we'll be able to find out a little bit more when Directive 8020 releases. I'm sure people will come up with theories after this on who exactly he is and what that last scene means, considering that this is the Season 1 finale of the Dark Pictures anthology. But let me know your thoughts and theories down below. However, that is it for this video. I have thoroughly enjoyed Season 1 of the anthology. Like I said, if you...
Alright, so what we have learned is pretty crazy. So, and it is a lot more in-depth than I thought it was, and than what I saw whenever I played the game. But it's just so cool to me, the thought process. I would have never thought about how in-depth it could be with the whole planning of it, you know? You use him before he dies, you convince him that you're gonna give his daughter back, you make him record the video for the next people. Alright? Then he goes, convinces 5 more people to come, and then he takes his daughter, and right before they leave, shot with a hunting rifle, killed. Both of them, done. So they don't get back to the mainland, they can't say anything. But now there's 5 people in his property. Well, so he kills 3 of them, and then he makes the cycle continue. Records a video, they get 5 more people, then they kill both of them, people are already there, and it's one never-ending cycle of murder and death. And I think that is so creative and such a cool idea. And we'll go ahead and we'll watch that whole ending right now. We'll go ahead and hop into this. This one's by Baby Zone. If y'all want to go check him out, I'll leave the link to these 2 videos in the description. So ending 1. What is this? Okay, this is that one right there. This is the secret ending. But we'll watch the whole secret ending, and then I probably won't watch any of the other. Wait, is this the secret ending? Yeah. So we're not gonna. I probably won't watch any of the regular ones because they're all the same. It's just with however many people survive. But we'll watch the secret ending. So let's go ahead and start it.
No. Let me out! Let me out of here, you son of a bitch! Kate? What did you do to her? Kate!
Oh no. Baba, what's going on?
God damn, that melts your skin. So he's gonna feed it to her through the nose,
Get away from her!
burn her insides out. Oh god, that's just awful thinking about.
My name is Joseph Morello.
What is this?
I'm a true crime author. If you're hearing this, then yesterday we met and I led you to believe I was Grantham Dumet. I had no choice in the matter. I was asked to do this by the actual Dumet. And now, he needs you to do the same thing and make a call. The number is on speed dial. Whoever answers, you need to tell them that you are Dumet. There's a script in front of you. Use it. Then get them to the island.
Wait. What?
Mark,
Just like
do
I
something!
did to you. Ferry them over. Get them into the house. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this, but it was the only way he'd give me back my daughter.
Yeah, give you back your daughter, and then he didn't know.
I needed. I had to get her back. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, these dogs are barking.
Just
And sorry about that, I am back. The dogs freaked out because the postman came. Let's continue though.
but whoever he has that you care about, they don't have much time.
It's just us.
What?
We're the only ones who made it. Everyone else is dead, Mark.
You goddamn psycho! No! Just let us go! We won't say shit! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Mark! Don't do it. Mark, do not.
Kate.
We don't know who these people are, but he's going to kill them. And we
So
can
Kate
save
wants to
them.
be the strong.
Let
Oh,
me die. Just. It's
let me
okay.
die. It's fine. If you let her die, you're gonna get killed too, idiot. Stupid.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just let it go.
Mark, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. Kate, I can't lose you.
You're going to lose her. He doesn't know that, I guess, but still.
Hi. To whom am I speaking?
June Collins. Who is this?
Mrs. Collins, my name is Grantham Dumet. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I have an invitation for you.
Oh, there's the limo. Honestly, I think now that I think about it, the only way that you would survive in this situation if you went through with this and then you went to meet them and then dipped. Like you were on the main island, you got off that boat, you dipped. Obviously, he doesn't know that he wants to save Kate, but if you knew that, then that's the only way you're getting out because you're already on the main island and you dip. And then Kate would die, but still, at least you would survive. Invites them in. He knows they're gonna die. You would think they'd be able to hear the gunshot that goes off, but still. They're free. Oh my god.
Okay. I had to do it. If I didn't deliver those people, he was going to kill you.
So whatever happens to them, that's on both of us.
Imagine thinking like that. I can't imagine thinking like that.
I didn't want to believe it at first, but I looked him up.
Well, you did good, babe. Place is a little creepy, but hey, who else gets a free island vacation?
It's not creepy, it's authentic. Mr. Dumet wants us to have a true period experience.
Just hope it's safe. Who knows?
A child. Isn't that a child from the other game? Or one of the other games? I don't know, maybe not. I know they like to reuse a lot of assets, like the cop and stuff. And I don't know if this is the same or not.
Oh, you're here.
Yes, sir.
All good things must come to an end, but how good was the end for our crew? Unfortunately, you lost a few of them. So, rest in peace. Charlie, I'm afraid it looks like Series 2 isn't going to be commissioned after all. Erin, the new girl surprised everyone with her courage.
And we heard that.
Don't think rewiring the future. What about those who survived? She was traumatized by Sadov in the world.
You already heard all that.
I'll tackle the paper. Always enlightening. I have no doubt we'll meet again in the future. Farewell.
Love the curator. Such a badass. And it was all the same. Huh.
What was that? What's happening?
I don't know.
And it's pulling them back in.
No, what's happening?
We're going the wrong way.
Mark, look!
There he is with the big old sniper. And then it just cuts to the barbershop quartet. Let's get it. It doesn't play music if you get the secret ending? Or maybe that's like the worst ending, I don't know. That's the secret ending. I guess it doesn't play music because mine played the oh. Yeah, this one doesn't play music, I guess, if you get the bad ending. Maybe if you just... Because no one survived. Maybe that's what it was. If more people that survived, the better off the outro is. That'd be cool. Does that mean the credits have no music either? Oh, okay. Well, now it cut. So this is the same one. We're gonna skip just a little bit forward, but this is the same one as before. But he says no.
They don't have much time.
So this is the same one, but
Goddamn psycho.
he says, "I won't call the people."
Just let us go. We won't say shit.
Don't do it. Mark, do not.
Kate.
We don't know who these people are.
I don't know, but
he's
I'd
going
rather
to
get
kill
shot
them,
than take
and we can
hydrochloric
save
acid
them.
to the lungs and
Let
shit.
me die. Just. It's okay.
That'd be so painful. Okay, so this is where he says, "I won't do it," or say nothing. What's your decision?
I won't do it.
Me no understand though.
You were always the one, Mark.
Oh, but she acts all lovey-dovey.
Even if I fought against it, I always loved you.
He's being a simp. Stop being a simp. Call the number. Well, she did. Oh, God. That guy doesn't care at all. He's... Say nothing. Nice. That's hot. Yeah, and then they gas him to death. And then he's like, "You dumbass." And then what is it going to cut to the... I'm curious, so I'm assuming it's going to cut to the New Yorkers getting it, right?
As always in
This evening, police have confirmed a
Yeah.
Chance you get.
Just listen to this. I got enough views to win a competition.
What did you win?
And then nothing changes for the other ones. They're all the same. It's just different people.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah, Mr. Dumet says they're gonna send a limo and everything.
Yeah. There's different endings. All the ones vary depending on how many people survive, but like that's the same. The two secret endings are these two. So those are pretty cool. But that is a wrap on The Devil in Me as a series. So it was a good series. It lasted, well, this is the 11th episode, the bonus episode, but I mean, it was a good series. I had a lot of fun with it. I like the Dark Pictures games. I know there's been a lot of back and forth on it. They're not the longest. They're not the most in-depth. They're just like, classic little meme Dark Pictures games. I enjoy them, though. They're just scary, so as you can tell. And I don't do well with scary stuff. It's a lot of little girl screams and a lot of but I had a good time. I hope you all enjoyed this series. It's going to be the first one. So basically what I'm thinking for the channel is we're just going to do series after series after series. We're just going to do Let's Plays kind of, and we're just going to kind of see how it goes. We're going to do some older games. When newer games come out, we'll do some newer games, and then we'll just go from there and see where it goes. And we'll have little one-off videos in the middle of the series, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year for all of us as a community, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, shout out to these people. I'll leave the links to the 2 videos in the description below. Go watch them. Go give them a subscription. Give them some watch time if you'd like. But please comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this series. Let me know what you think could have been better about it. I always love some collective criticism. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh my God, I'm perfect." Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. So I would love some collective criticism. Let me know what y'all thought about it. And we're gonna move on to the next series, and we're gonna see what happens from there. I'll let y'all know when the time comes, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching The Devil in Me.